When it comes to working online, everyone needs to remember the 7-11-4 statistic. Number one thing that you need to think about when it comes to lead generation is what is going to work for you, but also what is going to work for your clients. There is no point in using, I have a lot of people ask me what's the best time to post on Instagram, and studies show that it's Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, right? But if you're working with nurses that are shift workers that are doing night shift, they're not going to be on Instagram at 8 o'clock at night. So the first thing that you always need to do is consider when you're looking at lead generation strategies, are they going to work for you and are they going to work for the client? If you don't want to be going live at 8 o'clock at night, don't go live at 8 o'clock at night. If I can list probably the top lead generation strategies that have worked for our clients in campaigns and stuff that we've worked on, number one, hands down, would be partnerships. I don't think that people do it enough. I think we go straight to social media and people think about, what can I do in the most passive way possible to get something out there? And they'll shoot a video 300 times and post it and get no likes and comments and give up. But what we need to remember is that lead generation is all about relationship building. So if you love having conversations with people and you love networking and piggybacking off other people's audiences, and what I mean by that is, going and talking to people, going to run workshops, keynote speaking, all that sort of stuff. Partnerships could be a fantastic way for you to go. Partnerships is what grew our business exponentially overnight, and it was a 3-year relationship build to get there. But being in it for the long haul was what created it. So, number one, partnerships. Number two, which I don't think people actually do enough, is referrals. I think too often do people, we go through this whole process and we build this whole funnel around creating new leads, but we don't actually look at the long tail of nurturing those leads and looking after them as clients and how can they bring more people into our world. And I think especially for people that are wanting to build community, that are wanting to run group coaching or run training programs, your community is so important. So why not have people that love you recommend more people that are going to be your people that will love you as well? So I think referrals is another thing, is what can you do to not only support people to invite their friends and their colleagues and, whoever else is in there to come to them, but at the same time, how are you rewarding them? So you need to reward both the person that's referring and the referee. I worked with a business once who, whenever I referred a few people to them, they were LinkedIn specialists. When I sent them a referral that had, because they wanted to grow their LinkedIn, they'd send me a box of chocolates as a thank you, which is great. But how many boxes of chocolates do you want to receive? You know what I mean? So, we do a give a month, get a month type offer. So that people, if they're referring people, they obviously enjoy being part of your program and they want to continue with you. So gifting them a month is something that's highly valuable. For the person that they're welcoming in, getting a free month to kick off their journey is fantastic. And this is why that sort of concept works so well with gyms. It's why you see Fitness First, Anytime Fitness, Snap Fitness always recommending a give a month, get a month, because they want to reward both parties, but they also want to ensure that they're providing something that they know is going to be of value. I made a total screw up a couple of years ago, big gin drinker, love my gin. And this was a big penny drop moment for me. It wasn't even a referral. I was sending out Christmas presents. And I had this really fantastic gin company online. I loved all the gins. It was all these Australian imported gins. And so to save time, I would just buy 20, 30 packs of gin and send them out to everybody. And then I found out that not only one of my team members had stopped drinking and I gave her a box of gin for Christmas, but then I also had another partner that was trying to lose weight and had given up alcohol. And I sent them a box of gin for Christmas. So yeah, just really interesting concept to look at is you don't have to necessarily tailor for every individual person what they get. And some businesses have time to do that, which is fantastic. But you need to make sure that if you are sending out like a set thing for a referral, it's something that everyone's going to enjoy. Number three, I think, is social media. When it comes to working online, so not just social media, everyone needs to remember the 7-11-4 statistic. So I believe it was Amazon or Google or maybe both of them did some research and they found that for any client or customer to make a purchase, they had to consume 7 hours of content 11 different touch points across a minimum of 4 different platforms. So, what I always like to say to people is, okay, cool. So if I was off sick for the day, drinking chicken soup in bed, and I rang you up and I said, hey, I want to binge your content, could you send me 7 hours of content? It doesn't have to be online, right? Like we've got a book. So, sending people a digital copy of the book, that's probably 3 hours within itself. It doesn't have to be video. We've got online courses, we've got YouTube videos, we've got podcasts, we've got all this sort of stuff so people can play around with that. 11 different touch points. So the same thing, like, the book, the videos, all that sort of stuff is 11 different touch points. An email, a phone call, and I don't think people phone call enough in this day and age. I think everyone is so passive with their marketing, and we see this with clients, like ringing people out of the blue that have reached out to us and picking up the phone just to go, hey, how are you doing? Where are you at? How can we help? I think that is one of the best ways to build rapport and connection, especially in a world that's been consumed by AI and crap online. The 4 is the 4 platforms. So playing around with, hey, if I'm only marketing on Facebook and I'm only talking to my people on Facebook, what else can I be doing on different platforms? Can I be running events? Can I be, emailing people, sending them YouTube videos to look at? So that's also growing my YouTube channel at the same time while showing them that I am omni-channel in my marketing approach. Number 4, which to be honest, now that I think about it, I would probably make it number 3 if we're ordering them in terms of opportunity, would be workshops, not webinars. Do not use the word webinar because it sounds like you're going to sell me something. But workshops, free trainings, live events, particularly in person, I think is something that is also really underutilized. And this can happen across the board. We talk to a lot of people that are like, oh, but I'm a health consultant, or I've got a clinic, or I run a physiotherapy practice. Like, I can't run a workshop, because they don't think that they can turn their knowledge into a product. But the beautiful thing about doing that is you can speak to a massive audience at once, build a huge amount of rapport. We've just come off the back of an amazing conference, and while the content was fantastic, it was the people that made the event. And looking back at the WhatsApp group and the feed and all that sort of stuff, everyone is talking about how awesome it was to connect with each other. The conference was fantastic, but it was about the people. So I think getting people in the room, in a physical room, helps convert tenfold. So if you are running masterclasses online, if you are doing webinars and all that sort of thing, I would be asking myself, how can I turn this into a live in-person event? Get a few people into your clinic, have a few bottles of wine handy, build that connection, teach them something, and I guarantee you'll get sign-ups that night. Number 5, which kind of bleeds into all of them, but I think it's something, again, that we need to think about in this day and age, especially if you want to create freedom and save time, is how can you make your products evergreen? What's the next step? So if you do have a workshop, can you be running that regularly? Or more importantly, can you record it and have it available? A lot of people say that they don't do live events because not everybody can make it. But if you can record that event and edit it and make it look hot and have that available on a landing page, that's something that is going to bring you leads on autopilot. You've then obviously got to think about Facebook ads, Google ads, all that sort of thing, which I guess comes into number 5 as well, is there needs to be some sort of paid marketing. But I put paid marketing last for a reason, because I think that if you can't build rapport and trust on the other platforms and you can't do it for free, then you shouldn't be doing paid ads. Paid ads are a cold lead. Paid ads are a lead that, depending on your targeting, you might be targeting people that are already in your world. But in general, the reason why we're doing paid advertising is because we can't be bothered spending time doing stuff organically. And don't get me wrong, when I say can't be bothered, we've got the money to invest. You've got the money to invest. I get it, right? But if your team is not doing something in an organic way to build that rapport and trust, you're not leveraging the leads. You're not leveraging your cost per click. You're not leveraging the money that you're investing and spending on your advertising to support people to take that step.